we've got a good groundwork of who you are, your motivations, and then you're into this security. You did the gaming thing because you understood economies, you like analytics, you like how to win. Uh, Take us as the entrepreneur bug and that whole mindset. Why Airbnb? What were your strategies to build that empire? And then we can get into how you found crypto and kind of uh, get into the nitty gritty of liquid NFTs.
Sure. Okay. So I came back from Afghanistan at the beginning of 2011, and so that's when I came back to the States. I'm like, okay, now I've got to figure out what I'm gonna do to make money. And so I ended up in Pennsylvania, actually, about an hour away from Penn State. Milton. Do you know where Milton is?
Hell yeah, I
Yeah.
do. Dated a girl in
It's a
Milton,
tiny
bro.
little town about. You do. Okay, so I actually had a job as an operations manager for ConAgra Foods,
Okay. Uh-huh.
which is the manufacturer of the Chef Boyardee brand.
Yep.
So I was like this operations manager in a factory in Milton, and I got to tell you, like, I'm not a very good regular employee, because it was just it was really frustrating to me just to be in this factory, because they're old, corporate, stodgy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
factory type things. Like, I came up with a plan to save them $100,000 in a year from like meat waste and stuff like that.
Right.
And then and that was cool, but I very soon began to realize that this is just like a corporate machine. Like, I
Yeah.
wasn't going anywhere. Like, my boss would show up late, and was just, everybody's bad at their job and doesn't care, and it's just like a drag. Like,
Corporate
it was so
America.
annoying.
Explained to a
The
T.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
it drives me crazy.
Right.
It was also the fact that all my ideas to improve stuff, they don't care about that either. So I was just like, man, this is a no-go. This is not going to be good for me. So I was like, oh, great. Now I don't have a job because I quit that place. And I was like, what am I going to do? So I was like, okay, well, I'll become a real estate entrepreneur, because I found a really nice house when I was there, for a good price. And it was like a house where, it was like a beautiful old brick house in Pennsylvania, where like the first floor is one apartment, the second floor is another apartment. There was like a detached garage with two little apartments above that too. So I started, living in one of the apartments and then renting out the other ones. And I
Right.
was able to secure the home with like a VA loan, because when you're a veteran, you're able to get like
Yep.
a VA loan. So, I scraped together like $6,000 for the down payment that I needed, and like got my first house and started, renting out and Airbnb-ing it. And I realized very quickly that Airbnb is a great business.
Right.
So I think this is where the service aspect comes into play, because what Airbnb is, it's a service business.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
me, like, we've already established, like, I try to help people. So I was like answering messages immediately within 30 seconds. I was, doing my best to accommodate people. And it just so happens that my house was, at an intersection of major highways and 7 minutes away from a big hospital. So I got a lot of traveling nurses, a lot of people going up to Niagara Falls. And it was a very successful little operation. And I started there in, after I got back from Afghanistan. And then by 2016, I had a bunch of other houses that are either owned or leased out,
Yeah.
just in several different places. So that's how I kind of popped as an entrepreneur. And then when I came from the East Coast to the West Coast and got to California, I actually I got my real estate license, and did a couple of things there with that. And it was actually only like 6 months after I got my license that I pivoted into crypto. So I didn't get to do a whole lot with that real estate license. You know, by the time I decided to pivot into crypto, I had a really nice profitable business.
Dude, I love it. And so one thing that comes to mind immediately is looking back on building this Airbnb. You said something very interesting. Like you quickly realized corporate America wasn't for you. You're not a good employee. You had to figure out how to not be an employee. So you go down the Airbnb route. This experience, that which is 6 to 7 years, it sounds around that time, maybe a little bit more. Uh, what did that teach you and prep you for, which now is Liquid NFTs and the company you've built in the crypto space? Any learnings from there? There had to be some, right?
Definitely more about business. I
Yeah.
I actually was in the middle of getting my MBA online. I got like a bunch of credits for that, and I ended up dropping it just because I'm just ordering the books, reading the books, and teaching myself because it's easier to do that. And so it was mostly the business aspect, cap rates for real estate, understanding expenses and profits, and just being able to manage an actual business. That's like the big takeaway from that.
Right. But you also did say, though, it is a service business. So you had to have some takeaways from the service side.
Yeah. So if I were just to rent those regularly, not to Airbnb, I would have like broken even on my mortgage at the time. But with Airbnb, I was making at least double what I would have regularly. So I realized the importance of service, and so I'm a very analytical guy, but I'm also a very social guy, which I don't run into a lot. So I feel like that really helped me because I had the business part down. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't making any inefficient errors on the business side, but I was also the guy that can just talk to customers and understanding the needing of just being that service customer
Sure.
service representative too.
Right.
So I think that that really has the well with Airbnb.
Right. Gotcha.
Nice.
And in my
Now,
mind, sorry, Maddie, and then you can
no,
go.
go
But
ahead.
like my mind goes quickly to like you were doing little things like having welcome cards or making sure you were really responsive to when people texted you. Is that right? Is there anything to expand on? Like what was I'm interested in maybe some kind of strategies that you were using that you thought set yourself apart from other Airbnb hosts.
Sure. So the number one lesson I learned is to know your customer and then to
Mm,
service their needs. So remember, I just wasn't. I could have just done nothing and just accepted people on Airbnb, but no, I found out what was going on in my area. I talked to the customers and I found out, hey, I'm getting a lot of traveling nurses. And so, okay, what do traveling nurses want? Well, a lot of them work night shifts, and so they sleep during the day. So they want a quiet place. So I installed blackout curtains in my home so they could sleep during the day. And so it's just about knowing your
Yeah.
customer and then finding out what they want and then servicing them there. So I had different ones too. There was like a family oriented one where you'd have the pack and plays and the high chairs. There's like you could do like a pet oriented house that just makes it really easy for people with pets to come and enjoy your home. But basically you got to pick a customer niche, and the customer niche is going to be based on the location of your house. So you got to figure
hmm
out what's in the general vicinity of your house, what kind of customers would want to be here, and then go overboard with amenities to appeal to a very specific kind of customer. And then that customer, that pet owner, when they sees your house is for pets, they're going to pay more and they're going to book you immediately. That family with kids, when they see your amenities and they see your marketing to families, they're going to book that immediately. The traveling nurses, when they see blackout curtains and quiet space with plenty of internet when they need it, they're going to book that immediately. So
Right.
it's really about finding your customer and just appealing directly to them.
Nailed it, man. I was peeling back the layers of the onion and I got what I wanted, which was strategies and dude, awesome info.